guys, welcome to LNJ Tutorials once again. This is Justice here. In our two previous tutorials, we took you through some practice exercises and I hope that they really helped you. Today we are going to take a very short look at layers. Layers is a very important feature in the use of AutoCAD, and we are going to center our attention on this panel in the Home tab. Now, what you should understand is that layers is actually used to organize your work such a way that certain objects are assigned to a particular layer. It means that common properties can be assigned to that layer, and you will realize that when you assign a property to that layer, all the objects in that layer will have that same property. Now, let me take these three drawings you see here. For example, this drawing is made up of has three different layers, and I have represented those layers in colors. You have green, white, and red here. Now, what I'm trying to talk about is that the white objects that you see, the white colored objects that you see here have been represented in one layer, or they have all been placed in one layer. So it means that if I should change anything on the layer, it will affect every object that was drawn under that layer. Now, if you want to apply effects to a layer, now you come to the layers panel. Then I've created, I think this is a permanent, it's a default. This is the first layer you will use if you are starting a new drawing. If you haven't added any layers so far, this will be the first layer. It's labeled 0, and I've created dim NW DWG here. Now the dim represents the dim layer is what you see as green here. It means that all the objects that are green here have been assigned to the dim layer, and all the objects that are white here have been assigned to the DWG layer, and the red text here have been assigned to the 0 layer. Now, if you want to make any changes to it, if you want to add a layer, first of all, let me introduce you to the layer properties. If you want to add a new layer, click on this layer properties, then click on this properties, then you come here, you will have more features to do with the layers. You come to the new layer. This is a button for new layer. So when you click on this, you will be able to add a new layer to the previous layers. Now all the layers that I have been listed here. You have the 0, depth point, dim, DWG, and now you can see some lights, some bulbs, and some sun and some sounds here. Now these have their meaning. When you see this light bulb yellow, it means that the layer is turned on. It means that anytime you activate the layer, every image every object in that layer will appear in your drawing. So it means that when you come to this my drawing, I have all my layers turned on. That is why you can see all the three layers. So if you want to turn off a layer, you click on this one, turn the current layer off. Yes, turn it off. It means that all my layers, all my objects that I have assigned to the DWG layer, you see this green tick, it means that that is the current one, of course. So when you realize that when I pressed on the light bulb and on the bulb, it turned gray. It means that the layer has been turned off. So when you look at the drawing now, all the white objects have been turned off. So if I want to turn it back on, just come here and click on it, it will come back, as you can see. So that is a turn on and turn off. I can also turn this one off like this. All the green, all the layers that I have assigned, all the objects that I have assigned to that layer have been turned off. And one tip I would like you to take into consideration is that whenever you want to differentiate more layers, you will realize that you have to use different colors to represent the layers to give you a visual discrimination between them. Otherwise you'll be confused if you have to use the same colors for 2 or more layers. And you have the next one is a freeze. When you freeze a layer, it means that that layer is going to disappear from your drawing. when you freeze a layer, it means that that layer is going to disappear from your drawing. So when I froze the dim layer, you realize that the dim layer disappeared. You understand? So it is almost like the turn on and off. So the next thing is going to be so when you see the sun, it means that it is active. When you see the snow symbol, it means that it has been turned off. So when I turn this layer, the 0 layer off, it means that everything that I've assigned to that layer have been turned off. It's like the freeze is like a turn on and off. So let me unfreeze it. Then we have a lock. The lock will fix the layer into place such that you can edit the layer. So if I should lock this layer, it means that all the objects that have been assigned to that layer will become dim. So when they become dim like that, you can't edit them. You can't edit those objects. So when I place the cursor on the green dimension here, you will see a padlock symbol indicating that the layer has been locked and you can edit it. This is especially used when you want to still see the relationship those objects in that layer have with the rest of the drawing and make some modifications. So if you don't want it to disappear completely, then you will have to lock it in place. So it will be constant, it will be fixed such that I can edit it, whereas I can't make any changes to it. All the rest of the other layers will be unlocked and you can edit them so that you can see how, as you edit, how the relationship between those objects in those two different layers, how their relationship will change. So I can unlock this one. Then the next thing is plot. You see a printer symbol here. It means that it gives you the option to tell whether when you are plotting your documents, whether your drawing whether all the objects in that layer should appear in your drawing. So for example, if I should let me go to print. First of all, let me we see this red layer here, the layer named 0. This is what the objects in that layer are. The text here, 3 Android drawings illustrating layers. So when I turn off this one, the print, when I see the red canceling symbol here, it means that when I print my drawing into a PDF, this is not going to appear. The 3 Android drawings illustrating layers. So maybe you have some surplus parts of your drawing you don't necessarily need in the final results in your output PDF, but you just have to use them in your drawing. You can turn on the print symbol or turn it off. So let me show you what I'm doing. So go to print. When I take a preview of what I'm going to print, you realize that the text in red didn't appear. So it means that this is what is going to appear in my output PDF. And as you can see, the red text didn't appear because I turned off the layer which contained this red text. Even though you see it here, you can realize that it didn't appear in the output PDF. So that is it for the print symbol. The next thing is going to be the color, where you assign a certain color to a particular layer. So I'm going to change the text. It means that every object that is under that layer, that has been assigned to that layer, is going to change to take the new color I'm going to take. So just change the color to blue, go to OK. My text has changed to blue. It means that if I go and change the layer, sorry, my mouse is misbehaving. If I go and change the layer, the dim layer, if I change the color to say purple, then I go to OK, then you realize that everything will change to follow. So you have to be very careful with whatever you're doing. Every change you make to every layer will affect every object in your drawing. So you must know what you're doing. Then the next thing is going to be the line weight. The line weight basically talks about you realize that every object you draw is going to be drawn by a line, either a spline or a circle or a straight line, whatever it may be. There's a line inside it. So you use this one to determine the thickness of the line of the objects in that layer. So maybe I want to change the thickness of let me select the drawing, the thickness, the line weight is the thickness, so let me choose a very obvious one, 0.3, and you realize that quickly it will change the thickness of the objects that have been assigned to that layer. So it means that all the objects whose thickness have changed, which line weight have changed, it means that these are the objects that are found under the DWG layer as I chose over there. Now you may not see yours change. If you want to see it change, go to properties, go to line weight, this one, come to line weight settings, and make sure this option, display line weight, is checked. Otherwise it wouldn't show in your drawing when you change the line weight. So make sure this is checked, display line weight. Okay, then the next thing is the next thing I'm going to show you is going to be the other properties here. Now every property, every feature you see here excuse me, has its reverse action below it. So I have off, and there's an on here. I have isolate. You can use this to isolate a layer and work on all the objects in that layer. So the current layer here, whatever you click here is going to affect the layer that has been set as current. So now the current layer is the DWG layer. It means that every drawing that I draw is going to be assigned to this layer. So if I want to assign a different an object to a different layer, preferably the dim, then I have to go click on this one, select dim, then I have to draw my objects. And since the dim has a purple color, it will take the same color as you can see here. So that is it. So whatever layer you see here, anytime you make a drawing, the layer that shows in this tab is going to be the layer of the object you're going to draw. But if for some reason you want to assign this line to a different layer, say this DWG layer, then click on that line, then go to layers, then click on the DWG, then it will change. So I'll assign this line to a different layer, DWG. Then the next thing is going to be isolate. When you isolate an object, all the other objects will disappear and leave all the objects in that layer, which is a dim layer, for you to edit. So let me change it to the DWG. And when I isolate this layer, it means that I'll be asked to select the object, one object in that layer. So I select this one and press enter. Every other object in any other layer will disappear. So both the dim and the zero layer have all disappeared. They have been turned off automatically. So now I can work on my DWG objects. I hope you understand it. So now if I have any changes to make which I don't want them to affect the other objects in the other layers, then I can make those changes. Then the next thing, let me turn them back on. Then the next thing is going to be, I've explained the freezing to you, I've explained the locking, and I have explained the make current. So if you want to make a certain layer current, it means that you have to select, go to make current, then you select one object in that layer. You can also do that. You select one object in that layer. So if I want to make the dim layer current, after going to current from here, then I will select any object that have been assigned to the layer, and they are the objects in the purple color here. So I'll click on this 2.5 radius, then it is now the current radius. Right, it was what here, it was the DWG, but now when I perform that operation, it changed to the dim thing, the dim layer. I hope you understand. And from here too, you can also lock your layer down. You can lock it. You have 3 options for each layer here. You can lock the layer. Another thing I would like to show you also is another set of features here in the drop down here. So when you click on this, you will realize that there are other features. So you have how do you call this, previous. It means that it undoes the last change or set of changes made to layer settings. So if you have made any changes to your layer settings, it will undo it. And you have the change to current layer, changes the layer property of selected objects to the current layer. I think I've explained that. And also have copy objects to new layer. For example, if I want to sorry, my mouse, if I want to copy object, for example, if I want to copy this head from its current layer to another layer, for example, I want to copy it from the DWG as it is now to the dim layer. What I will do is that I will go to this one, then I'll be asked to select objects to copy. So I'll select this one, only the head, then I'll press enter, then select objects on destination layer. For example, I'll just select one object that represents the new layer I'm copying this one to. So I want it to go to the dim, so I press this one. You realize that it will change not only the color but any other property that has been assigned to this dim layer, and you realize that it will apply the same properties to it, and you can move it. You realize that you can even move it. You understand it? So you have copied this. You have copied this head, even though it remains. You haven't cut it. You have copied it, so it will get a new color, which means that it belongs. Now another copy of this head belongs to this dim layer. And you also have merge, where you merge selected layers into a target layer, removing the previous layers from the drawing. So maybe I'm combining two layers. For example, if I want to select objects, for example this one, sorry, oops, it's not okay. This one, I press enter, then I press this one, yes, it has changed everything to it has changed all the properties and has removed the white layer. It has combined everything into one layer and have assigned the properties of the second layer I chose to the newly combined layer. Next thing is going to be the delete, where you can also delete, or you can select a layer and delete it, or when you go to delete, you select one object in that layer. For example, this, it will delete all the objects in that layer. So the next thing is going to be the match properties, where it will assign one property, the properties of one layer to the other. So for example, if I go to match properties and I select this object and select this, I press enter. Oh, sorry, press this. Let me repeat that. So if I go to match properties, I select this white object in the DWG layer and I press enter. I'll be asked to select the objects on destination layer, so I select this one. It will match the first selected object to the second one. It will have the same properties as the second one has. In a summary, layers are used to organize your work, just to make your workflow very easy. For example, let me show you one drawing I have here. You realize that there are many you see many layers, and the one drawing used different colors to represent those layers, and you have two layers have been turned off here. So it means that all the objects that are doors, and you can also name your layer, you can also name your layer after the kind of objects that are going to be assigned to a layer. For example, this person, I think, was drawing the plan of a house, and you have all the parts of the building grouped here. You have the walls, you have the facing, the hatch, the doors, the electricals, the fixtures, and the appliances. So he has assigned a color to every layer, so he can easily differentiate. You understand? Then let me insert another the real objects here for you to see. and there's another one here. So here you can also see that there are so many colors here. Now what the person did was that every color represents a particular part of the building. So this yellow represents a wall, I can guess, and this purples, I don't know what they represent, but I don't have the list of layers there, of course. So these yellow ones represent walls, you understand, and these blue ones also have their meaning. I think they represent doors, I'm sure. I'm not very good at architecture, so forgive me. And these are these you see here are hatches. You see the person has hatched maybe at the outside of the building, so it makes your drawing organized. You know, it makes your drawing look very neat, and you can identify the various kinds of objects that you are incorporating in your drawing. So and you can also decide to make modifications to the layers after that. So that is it for today. Thank you guys. Let me see your comments and your suggestions in the comment section, and I'll be glad to, and you will be glad to reply to them. So thank you very much, and stay tuned. Next, in our next video, we are going to talk about blocks. We're going to talk about blocks. I think Lawson is going to do that. So please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe if you are interested in our future videos. And if this video helped you, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, and also share for others to also benefit. Thank you. It is Justice once again. Stay safe. Bye.